Hi guys, it's your friendly neighborhood headbanger Terry here, and it has been a minute or two since I've made a video. I'm sorry I was away for so long. Just life and stuff, you know. My daughter was sick, and then I got sick, and then blah, 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 blah. So, here we are. What are we going to talk about today? Today we are going to talk about fall. Not the thing you do if you trip, but autumn. Except for we don't say autumn in the South. We say fall. Everything is fall. Fall festival, fall clothing, fall, and nobody says autumn. I know someone whose name is Autumn. Hi, Autumn. But we don't actually call anything else autumn. It's fall. Well, it's sort of fall. We are in mid-September, very nearly mid-September now, and the forecast for this week for my little corner of Tennessee is for the highs to be in the mid to upper 80s, perhaps even hitting 90. Yeah, hard to be thinking about your bonfires and your toasted marshmallows and your s'mores when it's 90. See, here in the South, we have something called, and before I say this, I did check on some cities up north. Let's see, I looked at Bangor, Maine, I looked at Burlington, let's see, where else did I look? I looked at New Haven, Connecticut, which was actually warmer than the other two, which I thought was kind of interesting, but yeah, all of them were like in the 70s, low to mid 70s, and here we are hanging out in the upper 80s to close to 90. So yeah, that's fun. I live in, like I said, I've said this before, the foothills of southern Appalachia. I don't actually live in the Appalachian Mountains, but I do live, you know, I can drive 45 minutes to and be there. So I live kind of in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. And we have 4 distinct seasons here, which is something I really like about this part of Tennessee. We have cold winters, we have hot summers, we have mild spring and falls, except sometimes with fall it takes a while to get there. I can remember a year when it was still in the 80s in October. Now that's just wrong. I mean, at that point you need to register a complaint with Mother Nature or, you know, the Almighty, because that's just wrong. So yeah, we have this thing in the South called Indian Summer. Now, I know that's probably not the politically correct thing to say, but I don't know anything else to call it, and Native American summer just sounds stupid. So we have Indian summer, and what that is the temperatures will cool down for a little bit. They'll be sort of what you would expect fall temperatures to be, and then bam, out of nowhere comes humidity and hot heat, you know, just, you're like, what is happening? It's like summer's last revenge. You know, it's like summer saying, I know, you're waiting on crisp, cool mornings, you're waiting on bonfires and hay rides, and you're waiting on, you know, being able to enjoy hot drinks, but no, I've got one last hurrah. So, in the South, while other people are, you know, pouring hot cocoa out of thermoses at football games, we're sitting here going, hey, it was cooler today. It was 80. Yeah, that's great. So yeah, it takes a little bit for us to finally get to fall, but eventually we do. Now I'm wearing a sweatshirt as a, I guess as a harbinger of fall, you know, it's coming. But I had to turn my house temperature down to 70 to be able to wear it and not want to scream. Our normal thing is 72, and I have it down to 70, so I'm not going to burn up with this on. See the things I do for you people? And instead of having a coffee with me, because it's going to be 86 today, I've got my other drink of choice, which is Diet Pepsi. Let me open that up here for you. Was really loud, wasn't it? Good thing this wasn't an ASMR video. Okay, so wanted to talk to you a little bit about, you know, we're waiting on fall. Yes, the Starbucks here has the pumpkin spice latte out, but you're not going to see anyone here drinking it in the middle of the day because it's going to be 87 86 degrees, 88 degrees, you know. So we are looking for that time when we can open, have one in the middle of the day and not experience, a hot flash or, heat exhaustion or anything. It's coming. It's coming. We're not to the point yet where we need to wear jackets at football games or scarves or hats or anything like that. Anything that falls out of the sky is depressingly going to be rain, so while everyone else is sort of, excited about fall and, I guess kind of after Labor Day thinking, oh, the fall season has begun, we down here in the South, and especially the deep South, are just going, yep, gonna be 90 today. Cool. Not going to be wearing the scarf today, not going to be wearing the beret today, not going to be wearing really anything that's hot today. So yeah, we have to get past Indian summer. Now, once we get past Indian summer and we get into fall, I live in an absolutely beautiful part of the country. Gorgeous. I would not trade where I live for anything except maybe to move a little bit farther up into the mountains. It is gorgeous here. And when it does finally decide to be fall, when all the mosquitoes have decided to die and when the lightning bugs don't come out anymore, which is kind of sad, when the evenings are cool and the mornings are cool and it's finally sweatshirt weather, you feel comfortable outside, the highs in the 60s. When you finally get to that point, it is just incredibly beautiful here, because the other thing that's happening is the leaves are turning. Usually yellow comes out first, and then orange, and then red, and it is like God just took a paintbrush and just sprinkled everything yellow, and then took another one and sprinkled some things orange, and then sprinkled other things red, and it's just this gorgeous autumnal palette that you can see. And I can see mountains from where I live. I mean, I can look across the street, and the mountains are not obviously across the street, they're further back, but I can see them when I look across the street, and it is just gorgeous, just these beautiful spots of color. And if you live somewhere where there aren't deciduous trees and you don't get to see the color change and all that sort of thing, I just feel bad for you. I know that every place has its own beauty in its own way, but unless you just see a mountain that is just splashed with colors of yellow and gold and orange and deep orange and red and fire red, it's just, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I think it is one of the reasons that the Great Smoky Mountains, which I do not live far from, is the Great Smoky Mountain National Park, rather, is one of the, well, it is the most visited park in the nation. And everything around there, like places to stay and hotels and stuff like that, all the rates go up in the fall because people want to come and see the mountains when they are putting on their best show with all their beautiful colors. And I am no exception to that, even though I live nearby. So I'm going to tell you about a little trip that my family makes every year, usually in about the first week in October, first or second week of October, which is usually when the mountains are at their peak. When you talk about leaves turning, you talk about peak time, and the meteorologist will try to help you figure out when is peak, and that's when you want to go to the mountain so you can see the color up close. So usually about the first or second week of October is peak time in this area. And our foliage tends to turn a little bit sooner than if you go further east into North Carolina, which is a state that borders us to the east. The further east you go, the closer you're getting to the Piedmont and the hot areas and the ocean and that sort of thing. Their turn time is a little bit after ours. Basically, the colder it is, the sooner it turns, the sooner the leaves turn. So when you're going up into the mountains, their turn time will be a little bit ahead of where we are here down in the foothills. So we go up there, and this is usually my sister and my daughter and I do this little girls' day trip thing. And we go up to the very upper corner of Tennessee when it goes into North Carolina. And it is absolutely gorgeous. The farther up you go, and you're completely climbing in elevation as you go. It's a climb up. The drive is beautiful. It's full of snake-shaped curves that go back and forth. So it's fun to drive too. I can't drive too fast though because I don't want to make my passengers' car sick. But it is fun to drive. When I was younger, I actually worked in that area. The first group home that I ever worked at was actually very near that area. And I would drive those curves. Oh, it was so much fun, and I was so stupid, and it's a miracle I didn't die. But still, it was a lot of fun to drive those curves, unless you ran into a lumber truck. Lumber trucks go about 0.3 miles an hour on a good day. And of course, when you have switchback curves like that, really snake-shaped curves, the middle line is always solid. They don't want you to pass on those curves. And of course, we passed anyway because, you know, we were young and stupid. But anyway, I digress, as I always do when I do these videos and don't have a script. And no, I don't have a script. We drive up the mountain until we get to the Tennessee-North Carolina line. And right there, there's a place that we go to called Hump Mountain Apple Shed. And it's, if you're going up the mountain, it's to your left, and you turn, and it's right there when you turn off the road. I mean, you can't miss it. It is not much to speak of from the outside. It's a little bit more than a shed, but not much. It's basically a concrete box with a wood roof. And you get out, and the first thing you see is just bins and bins and bins and bins of apples. Every kind of apple you can think of. They're just in these bins, and you get a bag, and you pick out, you know, what you want, and they charge it by weight. You have to get separate bags for separate kinds of apples, obviously. But any kind of apple you can think of is there. But that's not all. That's not all. If you're there in autumn, which is when most people come, I said autumn, didn't I? Oh my gosh. Oh Lord, I'm going to have my Southern card revoked. Holy cow. Fall. If you're there during the fall, listen, don't tell anybody I did this. I won't tell if you won't tell. Anyway, if you go there in the fall, you will also be able to see things like pumpkins, squash, just all kinds of other produce there that is prominent in the fall. So mostly you're looking at gourd type things. But yeah, they have that there too. It's a great place to go get your pumpkin for Halloween. Then you go inside, and when you go inside, it's like you've gone into a little mini farmer's market with like all the things. You've got everything from pickled eggs to pickled pig's feet to bacon and pork things that people have, you know, they butcher these on their own farm, and they get them wrapped up and they bring them in to sell. And you've got every kind of jam and jelly you can think of. If you can make it into a jelly, it's there. If you can make it into a jam, it's there. Blueberry, blackberry, boysenberry, raspberry. They also have apple butter, and if you guys don't know what apple butter is, you are missing out on one of the great joys of life. It's basically stewed down apples with cinnamon and sugar added to the point where it becomes the consistency of like a buttery spread. And oh my gosh, it's so good. It is so good. I just feel for you if you haven't had apple butter. Go right now and order some from Amazon, because you can find everything on Amazon. But they have apple butter, pear butter, pumpkin butter. It's just incredible, all the different kind of butters they have. They have honey. They have all kinds of honey. They have sourwood honey. They have clover honey. Just all sorts of types of honey. They have molasses. They have light molasses, and they have dark molasses, and they have blackstrap molasses. Now, if you don't know what blackstrap molasses is, you may have had molasses before. Molasses is in a lot of things. Ginger snaps, you know, that kind of thing. If you've had anything like that, you've had molasses. But blackstrap is a whole new animal. Blackstrap molasses is the, I don't know how to say it, it's the gunk that's left over when you have boiled everything also off of the sugar cane. Because you make molasses by boiling sugar cane. And the stuff that's left at the very bottom when you've just boiled it down to the end is blackstrap molasses. It is the consistency and color of tar. It is an acquired taste because all of the sugar from the sugar cane has pretty much been boiled out at that point. It is akin to drinking black coffee with a little bit of sugar in it. Now, oddly enough, I like it. I like Blackstrap Molasses, but that was because I was raised on it. My grandfather used to give me both medium molasses, the medium color, and also Blackstrap. And I would have it on biscuits or toast or just anything like that. So I have had Blackstrap molasses in my life before, and it's not my favorite type. My favorite type is kind of the middle color. It's not insanely sweet like light molasses, and it's definitely much sweeter than Blackstrap. So when we go, I will get a quart of normal molasses, the medium color. And let's see, the last time I went with my husband and my daughter, as opposed to my sister and my daughter, I did get a little thing of Blackstrap. A little bit of Blackstrap goes a long, long, long way. The people that work at the shed are just as nice of people as you'll ever meet. They're just good old fashioned, grounded, wonderful, nice people. They'll talk to you. One of them has actually gone to Africa and done some big game hunting, and he has the head of this, I don't know what to call it. It's like an elk slash deer slash thing. The head is humongous. The head is almost as big as my body standing up, and he has it hanging on the wall, and you can have your picture taken with it, which I have, and I've named it Goldie. So I have to go back and visit Goldie and get my picture taken with, I guess it's a him. I would think so, with the rack it has on it. Anyway, and by the rack I mean horns, not a woman's body. It's so sad when you have to explain things, isn't it? So yeah, so we go there, we buy up the things that we usually just go there like once a year. And so you buy up all the stuff. You buy up all the jellies and all the jams and all the butters and all that fun stuff and all the molasses and honey. And sometimes we get gifts for family members there. My father-in-law loves sourwood honey. And so we'll get some from him. And that usually comes in from Asheville, which is about an hour away from there. So, local people bring their stuff in, and then people from a little bit farther out, like Asheville, will come and bring their stuff in there. It is just a cornucopia of homemade stuff, and it's fabulous, absolutely fabulous. And I'm not the only one who knows this secret. When you go in the fall, there'll be cars everywhere. So after we do that, after we get our stuff, we get back in the car, we drive into North Carolina. And there's a little cafe there called Sandy's in a little town called Newland. Newland, North Carolina is, when you drive through Newland, you feel like you're driving through Mayberry. You really do. You just expect Sheriff Taylor, Andy Griffith to come out and, say something. It's got two stoplights, I believe. Maybe three, but I think it's two. It's got a little weekly newspaper that it puts out, and it's got a Lowe's grocery store. I did not know that Lowe's was a grocery store before I lived in Western Carolina. I thought Lowe's was a hardware place. And when one of my kids at the group home said, I need to go to Lowe's and get some hairspray, I was just like, I don't even know how that's going to work. But no, it's a grocery chain in North Carolina. Did not know that. Anyway, so you've got your Lowe's, and they are big time now, guys. They are big time. They have a McDonald's, which they got just as I was leaving that area to move to another job. And they have a Hardee's. They have a McDonald's and a Hardee's. Whoa. But, don't even worry about that, because you've got Sandy's. You've got this awesome little cafe. It's a mom and pop joint. They make great burgers, hot dogs, little chicken nugget type things. And then they have the best soft serve ice cream. And they make sundaes with it, and banana splits with it, and all these awesome things. And unlike McDonald's, their soft serve machine is always working. Yeah, I don't know what's up with McDonald's and that. I think it's just a tease. Yes, we have a soft serve machine, but no, it doesn't work. You can sit here and look at it, but you can't have anything. But no, Sandy's always has theirs up and going, so awesome. Now, if we don't eat at Sandy's, sometimes we'll turn around and head back down the mountain, and we will hit a place that is right past the North Carolina line, called Rome Mountain. And Rome Mountain is named after Rome Mountain, because there's a mountain there named Rome. There you go. You can also drive to the top of Roan Mountain. It is gorgeous because from the top of Roan Mountain you can see over into North Carolina, so that's pretty cool. And you can drive up to the area that's at the base of the very peak, and then you can hike up to the peak if you want to. So it's a beautiful area, very cool. They actually have a rhododendron festival there every year because rhododendron is a mountain plant. It likes to be up where places are cool. It grows best in cool environments. So rhododendron is all over that mountain, and they have a festival there every year, which I have been to, I think, once or twice. Once that I know of for sure. Anyway, moving on. So if you decide to drive up to Roan Mountain, cool. When you drive back down, in the town of Roan Mountain, there is a place called Bob's Dairyland. I know it's the most awesome name ever. Bob's Dairyland is known for its barbecue, and its smoker, where it smokes the meat, is outside of the restaurant, out in front. So if they are smoking meat when you happen to stop by there, that is the best smelling place on the planet. You get out and that aroma just hits you and you're like, oh, gotta have some barbecue. Okay, if you don't like barbecue, then that probably didn't appeal to you too much. But if you don't like barbecue, then you have bigger problems than just that. So you go inside the restaurant. The restaurant is, again, a mom and pop place. It's got some, let's see, it's got some sort of pro-gun Americana things in it, and if that freaks you out, then maybe it's not the place for you to go. But just about everybody in Western Carolina and parts of East Tennessee own at least a rifle. And, you know, they're not crazy. They don't run around shooting it all the time, but you'll see little things like that. Like, you know, if you need to shoot, please aim judiciously, or that kind of thing. It's just, they're just funny little things that they say. So you go and you go up and you order. If you're smart, you order barbecue, but they have other things too. They have hamburgers and French fries and coleslaw and all the stuff that you should, you know, have with barbecue. And you have that, and then if you're smart, you go up and you ask for a milkshake, because they have milkshakes in every flavor known to mankind. Blueberry, maple syrup, I mean, if it's something sweet or fruity that you could put in a milkshake, it's there. Peanut butter, I mean, just all kinds. I've had, let's see, peanut butter, blueberry, strawberry. I don't know if I've had maple yet, but that's definitely on the list. We only go once a year. We only started going about 5 years ago or so. So I've got a long way to go. I've got a lot of milkshakes to try. So even if we don't eat there, even if we eat at Sandy's, you know, you can go by there and get a milkshake, and that's a nice way to end your meal. So yeah, that's our fall thing that we do every time, and it feels so good to do it. That up there in the mountains, the air is clean, it's just crisp and fresh, the view is beautiful. You know, you go on a nice fall day and the sky is clear, the sun is out, the colors are just, you know, it's almost like the trees are just singing with joy. It's just like, here we are in all of our glory. And it really, it makes me feel closer to God. It just calms my spirit, and I love going there. My favorite place, no matter what the season is the mountains. But when you go in the fall and all those colors are out, it's just like, wow. It is just amazing. And there is actually even a cabin up in Newland that my husband and daughter and I have gone to stay at before, that it's a nice cabin, and it has everything you need to cook, you know, whatever you would want to cook. And there's also a restaurant not nearby, but down the road. And, you know, it's a great time to go there in the fall and just be in the middle of all that color and all of that nice, clean, fresh air, and have a little chill in the air, just a little nip in the air, you know, to make you realize, hey, the holidays are coming, and it's just really cool. So, yeah, I like fall. In case you haven't figured that out by now, fall is my favorite season, even though Christmas is my favorite holiday. Just as a season as a whole, I love fall. It's just a warm, cozy, comfortable, nice feeling. To me, fall is like wrapping up in a warm, thick, fuzzy blanket and just feeling really comfortable. And I'm finally going to take a drink of this. Diet Pepsi. Yum. So, what's your favorite season? Tell me in comments. Tell me what season you like and why you like it, because I like hearing about people's favorite seasons. I know some of you will pick summer, and I can't wrap my brain around that, but I get it. Not everybody likes the same thing. All right, guys, next video is ASMR. It's going to be an ASMR spelling test, so you can even play along if you want to. I promise the words won't be too hard. All right, guys, please take care of yourself. Please stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.